Welcome to Gene and Mike do the New York Times crossword.
Hi, I'm Jean.
And I'm Mike. And today we are doing the crossword for Saturday, August 10th, 2024. So, on a day that is close to, if possibly not the end of the Olympics, did you do the crossword?
I did.
And did you medal?
I won gold.
Excellent. Congratulations.
Thank you. But it took me a very long time. So no world records were set.
Well, you got a gold, so
got the
that's
gold.
really all that matters. You're helping the U.S. continue to pile on the victory there.
Yeah. What about Canada? Did they get a medal?
Not for the crossword, but I was able to get through it. It was interesting. I went through most of it fairly expeditiously, and then in the middle of the crossword, I just ran into a brick wall. And I think what happens is, I'm working and getting, of course, more and more tired because I'm doing this at night. And at some point, I've just run out of energy and inspiration. And the clues were also pretty tricky.
They were very tricky.
Like 37 across. The clue was out.
Yes.
Which could be just about anything. And I had open L. That's as far as I got. And so I thought it's open lobby. I wasn't quite sure why it was an open lobby, but that just seemed right to me. Compounding my problem was 35 down. Contracts for shrinks, e.g.
I fall for that kind of clue every time.
Boy, that was tough. The answer was synonym.
Synonym,
because
yes.
It's contracts.
Contract.
Contracts. Thank you for pronouncing it properly. Contracts for shrinks.
Right.
And I was looking at it as contracts for shrinks.
I know.
And even now I can't pronounce it properly because I am so suckered into that clue.
Yeah, and I mean, that was just such a crazy idea. What kind of contracts would a psychiatrist need?
I thought it was going to be I thought non-disclosure agreement.
I thought that too, but it didn't fit. But, I'm just like, what kind of contracts would a psychiatrist need? And then, I got most of the letters, and I'm like, that looks like synonym. And sure enough, I'm like, oh, shoot. I eventually figured it out, but it was like, oh, I should have gotten that one sooner. I fall for that every time. Every time when they have that kind of a clue and the answer synonym, I never think of it in that respect.
Right. Well, if you look at the word synonym and if you look at the crossing clues, they are all just about tough. Like 35 across. Aw, that's a shame. And it was 5 letters. I had it ending in AD. And so I thought it was actually, I wanted it to be too bad, but that didn't work. So I had maybe, I don't know if I had too bad and just misspelled it, but in any event, I had trouble there. The 40 across, which was going to give us the third letter of synonym. Gambling venues with a portmanteau name, racinos.
Yes.
And that's where I had my breakthrough, because I had RACI, and I'm like, I had race inns. I decided that when you go racing, you could stay at a hotel, and it was called the Race Inn. But I took another look at it and I thought, okay, gambling. I thought casino. And then I thought, oh, racinos. And then I had an N there and that helped. But the one underneath it, 42 across, open waist length jacket. I'm like, the only jacket I can think of is a Mao jacket and a Nehru jacket. Those are all the jackets I know. And I don't know bolero.
Bolero, yes.
I thought that was some sort of a Spanish weapon.
No.
Okay, fine. What if you hit someone with a bolero? Isn't there something like you have 2 balls and a string between them and you swing it?
That's like a nunchuck.
Well, nunchucks you have like posts with like a chain or something in between.
Oh.
I'm thinking of anyway. I'm convinced that there is an interpretation of bolero.
Well, I always thought of bolero as more like a vest. I didn't realize a bolero could have sleeves. I just thought it was like a short, open vest. But apparently, it can be an short, open jacket.
I'm thinking possibly of bolas.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
And whenever you're throwing a bola, you should always be wearing a bolero.
Yeah, right.
So,
Of course,
all right.
Bolero, that's also musical
Yes.
number.
I knew that as I was thinking it's something to do with music, but no, I was thinking of a bola.
Oh, okay.
Not Ebola, listeners.
Yes,
I can
Ebola.
distinguish between the disease and the weapon.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah.
So anyway, so there was bolero, and so I didn't have the O of synonym, and then finally the last letter, the M of synonym, came out of 57 across. She's so full of herself, Matryoshka. Okay.
Yeah, I finally figured out the M went at the end, because when I saw contracts for shrinks, I thought, well, it's plural, so the last letter must be S. But of course it wasn't. It was M for matryoshkas.
Matryoshka looks like.
Matryoshka,
I know it's got Osh. Too bad it doesn't have Oshkosh.
which are nesting dolls, Russian nesting dolls.
Oh.
So when she's full of it, it's like, yeah, she's full of herself because you open her up and there she is again.
Oh, that's brilliant.
Yeah, it was a great clue once I figured out what it was. But
I guess I didn't know Matryoshka. Have they? Is that a debut?
well, I didn't either. So I thought Satryoshka was probably correct. But then when I finally figured out this was synonym, and that first Y came from 37 across, which was out, and the answer was openly gay.
Yes.
And that's where you got the Y. And then once I got that, I was like, oh, it's synonym.
But to get the Y and then the gay, you had to know synonym. You had to know that 32 down, the clue was just one word, faster. And so I had go on.
Oh.
Like, go on. But it was go.
Go, yes,
And
faster.
and then the one next to it, which would have given you the A of gay, was barrio makeup, 29 down, and it was casas.
Right.
And that also I was in trouble with. I did get the last one, cosmetics giant, Olay, 30 down. But anyway, so I just ran into a wall in that corner. And I also, because I didn't know Bolero, I didn't know 42 down, the gas relief brand. I had Dueno for a bit.
Oh, no.
I didn't know what 44 across was, the inits on a food assistance card, EBT.
Right.
And I have seen when we buy food at the grocery store, some of the products have a label identifying them as, I think, if you're impoverished, you can buy this and you get some sort of a discount.
Right.
And it starts with a W. So I was trying to make it work with a W. That's why I had Dueno.
That's WIC. Yeah, WIC, WIC.
Working
Women, Infants, and Children. It's a special program for food assistance program for women, infants, and children.
Okay, so it's nothing to do with Wisconsin per se.
No.
Okay, all right.
But EBT, that's
electronic bank transfer.
right. So they can use that card, and they don't have to have money, but they have an EBT account that the money's taken out of, so they can buy the food, and the grocery store gets reimbursed.
Now, they had some great clues throughout the entire crossword. We just sort of been focusing on this one because this area, because that's where I got. Where did you get stuck anywhere?
Oh, I got stuck everywhere.
Okay.
But I worked through it. Now, I did not have any problems there. I mean, it took me a long time, but, I get a letter here and a letter there, and, yeah, I didn't have any problems.
So you knew Casas, right? 29 down?
I knew Casas, and I knew Bolero. And then, like 52 across, landed on, was a lit.
Right.
That's pretty common. 56 across, I thought was interesting name. That's Latin for nobody, and that's Nemo.
Yes, as in Captain Nemo.
Right. And then like 31 down was a steamed bun of Chinese cuisine, and I'm like, oh, what's that called? And I wanted it to be a PAO, P-A-O, P-O, and then I thought, no, it's B-A-O. So I knew that, but I had kind of forgotten it. But then I got that filled in, so I had the O. And I had the gay, so I thought, oh, it's got to be openly gay. So, yeah, I got that, but it just, everything just took me a long time.
Right.
And where I had problems was the synonym and the
Matryoshka.
Because I just couldn't figure that out.
Right. Now, Matryoshka is a debut. There were 7 debuts in this crossword.
Oh, I can believe it.
One of them was 13 across, brand of brightly colored hair dye with a rhyming name, Manic Panic.
I know.
It's a good thing they put in rhyming name, because otherwise I was not going to get that.
No, me either. And I question who would use a hair product called Manic Panic, but I suppose some people are brave.
It's a great name.
Yeah.
I used to use a shampoo called Gee, Your Hair Smells Terrific.
17 across, I thought was very interesting. Sport that has generated noise complaints across the country in recent years. Pickleball. I wonder what's so noisy about pickleball.
Maybe they play it with real pickles.
Maybe they just get too intensely into it or something, and they yell at each other. But
well, I mean, they've got a tennis ball, right? And they're whacking the tennis ball, so that's going to make a noise.
Well, yeah.
Maybe occasionally they explode. They have exploding tennis balls.
Maybe. I need to look that up. Why is pickleball such a noisy sport?
Well, we can go to a local pickleball court with a decibel meter, and we can measure the sound.
I'll let you do that.
Okay, I will be right on that. One that I was very inordinately proud of myself for 26 down, to whom one might say, not everything revolves around you. I immediately wrote down geocentrist. I think I might have had the G. I think I might have had the G of 25 across. Circus venue is a big top.
Right.
But I just wrote down geocentrist, and I thought it was right.
That's amazing.
I know, it's like getting a Wordle in one.
I had no idea. It took me forever.
Oh, okay. I got very, very, because with that covered 2/3 of the grid in that one area, running down, and so, let's see others that were interesting. There was one that was, let's see if I can find it here. The answer turned out to be microscope.
Oh yeah, that's 11 down.
11 down, right. 11 down, the clue was metaphor for scrutiny.
Right.
And I had an M and an I, and I had an R and an O, and I thought it was something to do with mirror. But it turned out to be microscope.
Microscope, yeah, that was a great clue. And was it, I think, 6 down. I thought that was funny. Don't mention it. Taboo.
Yeah.
I was like, I was trying to think of no prob or you're welcome, but no, it's taboo.
Mm-hmm.
So now 8 down, I kept taking that word in and out. 8 down, grand opening. Kilo.
Yes.
Kilo grand.
Yeah, a grand means 1,000.
Well,
right?
It's not grand, gram, it's grand.
Yes, because a grand, that's like when they talk about money, it says that'll cost you $1,000. That means 1,000.
But kilo
is also the prefix for 1,000. I'm sorry, I shouldn't be mansplaining here.
That means grand. That means 1,000 or grand. Okay, that was a little cryptic, because I was like, usually when you see something opening, it's a prefix that's going to go with that word. So I was trying to think, well, what could be a prefix for grand? But
well, just remember, this is the same author who gave us contracts for shrinks.
Yes, I know.
And there they didn't even put a question mark.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I like the one next to it too, 15 down. Relatively nice. No. 15 down. Where is that?
Well, 15 down would be...
relatively nice prison. Humorously, I thought that said person. Prison, humorously, club fed.
Right. When I read this, I thought the clue was relatively nice person.
No.
And I put down club fed, and I'm like, okay, fine. Mm-hmm. But it's...
prison.
It's a relatively nice prison. That makes a whole lot more sense.
Yes.
Club fed.
The problem with the crossword, when you go back over it, once you get the clue answered, the clue turns gray. And then when you highlight it, it's got blue. So you're looking at words that are gray on a blue background, which is not a lot of difference. So
No,
it's really hard to read them.
I complained on Wordplay about this, and I actually sent something to the designers of the app expressing the fact that if you have light gray on light blue, you don't understand design. I mean, I worded it a little bit more nicely, but it's just like anyone who teaches design for a living would say, you don't have enough contrast between those two colors. What are you doing? I think they think it looks cute or it looks nice or something. But
well, yeah, it does look nice, but if it's illegible, then that's not a good design.
Right.
So, I mean, the best contrast is black on like yellow.
Now on the app you can change it, but on the website you can't. So there's a way of tweaking the app
that's interesting.
Right. And I'm sure you could do. There's probably something you can do to improve it.
Right.
Just fiddling around with Safari, but.
Yeah. 36 across, exclamation of exasperation was come on.
Yes.
And didn't yesterday we had come here?
Yep. Come here, come on.
Non-words.
Maybe we'll have come on, come here tomorrow. One down was AC units, and I thought it was going to be BTUs.
Me too.
But
That's
it was
what I put in.
really okay. But it was amps.
That's right.
So, all right. Well, this was a really good crossword.
It was excellent.
Yep, lots of very interesting clues. This was by Spencer Leach, his fifth. Apparently, he's well known for. I think he's got a YouTube channel. I mean, who doesn't? YouTube tutorials for beginner crossword constructors. So people might want to check that out. Well, it is Saturday, which means it's time for Jam Katwa, the Gene and Mike Crossword of the Week Award. And this is where we go back through the crosswords of the week and pick out what we deem to be the very best. And today we picked Sunday.
August 4th.
August 4th.
A great weather puzzle entitled Weather Man by Scott Hogan and Katie Hale. And all their themed clues were very complex phrases with a question mark at the end, the answers of which were common phrases that you hear on a weather forecast. So, for example, the first one was 23 across, high chance of parties celebrating a baby's arrival, and that was showers likely. Or another one was 103 across, the road not taken, enjoyed over breakfast, and that was a morning frost. So, and they also had ones for damaging winds and mostly cloudy, isolated sprinkles. I guess that was my favorite one, 701 across. What you might find on the counter after making ice cream sundaes, isolated sprinkles. So, anyway, it was a fun solve. It was a great, I think, kind of typical Tuesday, but just lots of fun clues, and the theme was very clever. So it wins the Jam Katwa this week.
Okay, and once again, this was by
Scott Hogan and Katie Hale.
So Scott and or Katie, if you feel so inclined, drop us a line, crosswordpodcast@icloud.com, and we'll have your Jam Katwa certificate, as well as some wonderful Wisconsin swag making its way towards you in no time.
Right.
I think that is it for today then. So thanks everyone for listening. Thanks for helping make this be one of the most popular podcasts about the New York Times crossword to come out of Northeast Wisconsin. And we will be back again with our cutting edge analysis of tomorrow's crossword tomorrow.
Bye-bye.